So I'm going to get in your business here for a minute and ask you, how was your drive to church today? Was it pretty uneventful? Did you get here on time? Have a chance to have a donut and some coffee and visit with friends out in the lobby? Was it kind of pretty chill, or were you in a panic to get here before the message even started today? What was it? Oh, let me ask it a different way. How many of y'all broke the speed limit to get here to church today? All right, the honest ones. So you broke the law, and here's the thing. You broke the law to get to church on time or get here whenever you got here. But if you are a typical person, you tend to, especially on the highway, drive over the speed limit. All right? How many of y'all do this? Drive over okay, there we go. Now honesty breaks out in church. So we drive a little bit, and here's what experts tell us is going on in our heads is that we don't feel guilty about breaking the law a little bit. We cross the line. We don't feel guilty about breaking the law a little bit, but we also don't want to get caught by the law. We want to break the law, but avoid being caught by the law. And it's kind of one of those things where we know that there is a line somewhere in there, don't we? And that's the line that we write. And the only thing is, we don't just apply that line in driving, but I don't know, some people would say, well, when it comes to our health, our diets, what we eat, we'll push the line. Curfews for young people, right? You got a curfew? Push that 5 more minutes, and then you're 15 minutes late and you blew it and you get grounded or whatever. You know, we push the line in so many different ways. And what is that line? Well, let's name it. It's the line between responsible and irresponsible. It's the line between moral and immoral. It's the line between legal and illegal. It's the line between I'm still in control and I need help now. Whether it's driving, diet, curfews, drinking, spending, our natural tendency is to live real close to that line, as close to the line as possible. As close to the line as possible. And we do that as close to the line as possible. We kind of snuggle up to that edge of disaster because, you know, we don't want to get grounded for a young person. We don't want to lose our jobs. We don't want to be embarrassed publicly. We don't want to get kicked out of the house. We don't want to get expelled from school. But we just ride that line. We snuggle with that line. And here's the thing. Fueling this flirtation with disaster, this line of disaster, is a flawed assumption. We need to name the flawed assumption. It really messes with our ability to make good decisions, this flawed assumption. And the assumption, though, is why we're so comfortable living on the edge right there when it comes to dating, spending, drinking, eating, driving, whatever it is. Here's the assumption I'm talking about. If it's not wrong, then it's all right. If it's not illegal, then it's clearly permissible. If it's not immoral, it's acceptable. And if it's not over the line, it's fine. A nice little rhyme there. If it's not over the line, it's fine. Now, here's the thing about these assumptions. If you're a parent, you would never parent your child with these assumptions, would you? Why? Because it's the lowest common denominator. We expect more. We want more from the people that we love. I mean, you wouldn't set that bar for anybody that you care about. But basically, it's asking the question, how close to bad can I be without actually being bad? How close to wrong can I get without actually doing something wrong? Or if you're religious, how close to sin can I get without actually sinning? See what I'm talking about? That's the line. And these false assumptions, they just really mess with our decision making. But it doesn't stop there, because before long, what ends up happening is we go over the line. Over the line. How far can I go over the line without getting caught, without experiencing some form of consequence or embarrassment? How unethical, how immoral, how insensitive can I be without really experiencing consequences? How long can I neglect my family? How long can I neglect my health? How long can I neglect my finances before I start really feeling the effects? How much can I indulge in an addictive behavior before I actually get addicted? Man, it's a slippery, dangerous slope. And it all starts by asking the wrong question. And the wrong question is anything wrong with this? That is the wrong question. Is anything wrong with this? Because that question is usually followed by another, even worse question, which is, how did I get myself into this? Right? And here's the thing. We already know that this is the truth because when we see, and it's so much easier to see it in other people when they are doing something and you're like, oh my gosh, what are they doing? I love them. Why are they doing this? We ask the question of them because we can't always see it in ourselves. And when we get concerned about somebody, it's not necessarily concern about what they're doing in the moment. It's concern about where they're headed. All right? It may not be like with our kids especially, like, hey, they think, it's no big deal, Dad. I'm just blah, blah, blah. And like, wait, but I know it's just blah, blah, blah. But the direction you're headed. And by the way, this points to the principle of the path that we talked about in the very first week of the series. And the principle of the path is that direction, not intention, determines destination. Direction, not intention, determines destination. And the illustration I use, like, hey, you want to go to Florida? You know, you're packing up your swimmy things and your snorkels and all that. You want to go to Florida? You head north on I-35. You are not going to get to Florida no matter what your intentions are, because direction, not intention, determines destination. When we see people around us doing things, they may not be wrong things. They may not be illegal things. They may not be immoral things. But we're like, man, the direction you're headed. So the wrong question to ask is this wrong? That leads to the fourth question, which I believe is the question that if we ask this, we avoid the avoidable regrets. If we ask this, if the people we love ask this, they avoid the avoidable regrets. Here's the fourth question. What is the wise thing to do?